Reach and 4, but we denied them.
And they'd send me like all these messages on Xbox Live at like 3 o'clock in the morning, like, "Where are you, Nitro? If you do not get on, you will be banned."
We're serious, bro.
I'm serious about this. I'm just a dwarf and I run around stealing people's manas.
Hello and welcome back to the FTHcast. It is episode 14. We made it out of 13. For the love of God, we made it out of the ridiculous episode 13. I'm here, of course, with Kyle Martin. Say hello, Kyle. Just fucking do it over again. God damn it. Start over.
That was fun.
No, it was horrible. I said Kyle Martin. Alright, here we go. Take 2. Hello and welcome back to the FTHcast. We are here, episode 14, competitive video games. I'm excited. Are you excited? Say hello, guys.
We're excited.
Hey.
Hey, we are with, of course, my two... I didn't even introduce myself. Do I ever introduce myself? I feel like I don't ever do that.
We should start.
I don't know.
I know. I should probably start doing that. So yeah, I'm Free the Hawk. Yeah, it's me. That's why it's called the FTHcast. But you can call me Paul. And of course, I'm here. My two best friends in the video game world, other than my other best friends, are gonna be really mad because I said that. Kyle and Nathan. Say hello, guys.
Hey.
What up?
Hey. And we're talking about competitive video games. We're gonna talk about a couple other things real quick, just to talk about them, I guess. No. Next week is the first Game of the Month podcast, and it's Earthbound. So get out your wallets, go buy a Super Nintendo, go buy a very expensive cartridge of Earthbound, or just get an emulator and find the ROM somewhere because it's a very popular game. And play it up or look it up on YouTube, I don't care. And join us on the podcast. It will not be live, so I don't know how you're going to join us, but it'll be fun.
You can live tweet it.
Yeah, just, I don't know. You'll figure it out. But yeah, so next week is our big Earthbound podcast. I'm pretty excited about it. It's going to be a 4.5 hour podcast. I'm just kidding. It's not going to be any longer, but I'm still excited about it because I've been playing a little bit of it. Not really, but a little bit. And Kyle played a little bit with me too.
I did,
and it's really fun, and I'm excited about talking about. And then we got to figure out our next game of the month. I guess we'll do that next week though. So be thinking about that. Also, there's something else I wanted to say. I might just skip it because I don't know what it is now. Anyway, let's forget it. Anyway, let's actually just start out this week with something I haven't asked in a while. What games have you guys been playing recently? I feel like I haven't talked to you guys in a while. That's why I'm curious. Like, what did you guys play since the last podcast? Nathan,
go now.
I recently bought an Xbox Live Arcade Mark of the Ninja. Been playing it a lot. It's actually pretty freaking sweet.
Yeah,
really good arcade game.
It's gotten a lot of really good reviews. Yeah,
it kind of reminds me of Shadow Complex in a way, but a lot more linear and more, clearly more sneaky, but
yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Have you beat it?
I have one level left, and then I will be beating it.
Dum.
Oh yeah.
How about you, Kyle? What have you been playing?
Well, I told you guys earlier before we got started, I bought Deus Ex Human Revolution and Grand Theft Auto 4 because I've played Deus Ex a little bit, but I'd never played Grand Theft Auto 4, and I just thought I'd give them a whirl again because people talk highly of both of them.
Yeah, Deus Ex is awesome.
But I also, and one thing that made me want to play it again was that I saw Elysium, and they were augmented, so it reminded me of that, and it was like a combination of Halo, Mass Effect, and Deus Ex, which I thought was kind of cool, but... Ooh. Also did a little mobile gaming this past week. Yeah. I think Logan may have gotten you to play it, Nathan. It's called Space Team.
Oh my god!
And he said, "Do you even like it?"
Okay, he tried to get us to play it the other day, or not the other day, but a couple weeks ago. It was dumb between the two of us, but I'm sure if we were inebriated and there was like 4 of us, I'm sure it would be pretty cool.
Well, what were you going to say, Paul?
I was just going to ask what it is. I don't know what it is.
Okay, it's called Space Team, and you have to be on. Like, I couldn't play it with you right now. Like, you have to be on the same Wi-Fi network, but it's for 2 to 4 players. And what it is, like, it goes through different stages, but on each one, like, you have a control panel in front of you, and it's got a bunch of different kind of crazy names for stuff. Well, it pops up stuff on the screen. Probably about 1 out of 5 you have on your control panel, but everything else is like what would you have on yours. So what pops up, I have to tell you to, like, whatever, vent the solar thrusters or, you know, do this or that.
Yeah.
And, like, you have to do it. But it gets really fun when there's, like, 4 people and you're, like, all screaming over each other and trying to, you know, tell each other to do that. But I thought it was really, like, if you, like, take damage, like, for getting things wrong and stuff like that, like, your instruments will, like break or whatever, and you have to, like, use your finger to drag them back up, or, like, this, like, oil or slime will, like, come dripping down over the names of things. You can't see it, so you have to, like, wipe it away and stuff like that. But it was free and it was fun, and we were slightly inebriated, so we had a pretty good time. But I think that's the case of a mobile game done right, where it was
it's fun because you're drunk.
Yeah, well, it was more of a party game than rather than trying to be like we said, you know, get real intricate with controls and stuff like that. And whatever, yeah, judge me.
No, actually, I've actually heard of that game and it sounds really fun. I've heard other people.
Yeah,
I have.
On the
actually.
Reddit threads?
No, actually, through Total Biscuit.
I think that's
good friend of mine. We're best
Logan
friends with
found out about on Reddit.
No. There's
give a shout out to Logan Poteet. But that's what I've been doing.
Awesome. Have you played any of Grand Theft Auto at all? Have you turned it on yet?
I played like probably the first 45 minutes or an hour earlier.
So that's like the opening cutscene.
so I watched the opening cutscene.
Man, I played a little of Deus Ex when it came out, and I don't know. I just didn't get into it. It's just I don't know. I can't even figure out why, because it's not. It's
well, see, I've actually had it before.
Yeah.
And I've played now more than I had it. Like it was a long time ago when I had it, but it's got everything that I think is awesome in games. But I don't know. I don't know. It's just a little different than kind of what you expect, and but it'll be good. I'm gonna power through it and play through with it. So
sweet. Well, what have I been playing? Well, I've been playing Dragon's Dogma, which I think is really fun. It's kind of
I actually almost bought that again too.
Oh man, I love it.
There's a different one out. I guess it's kind of like the expansion version.
Well, it's supposed to have all the DLC on it, which is just a bunch of weapons and stuff.
Yeah.
Which is the version I got. I got it off Xbox downloadable, whatever, because I was trying to find a PC version, but that doesn't exist. It's only consoles. And it's pretty fun. No. It's really, really fun. It's really, really hard. God, it's really hard. And it's like it's an RPG, and it's a Japanese RPG, but I wouldn't call it a JRPG because it doesn't have like the weird battle turn-based stuff. It's kind of like an open world party, third-person action adventure RPG kind of deal. I don't know. It's really fun, though. It's really intriguing. I have to get back into it. I keep rage quitting it because it's so hard, and so I have to like give myself a day before I play it again. Ugh. But I made my character. You can make your characters. You have your main character, and then you have like your main little pawn who you don't control. He just travels around with you. So I downloaded the demo, right? So the demo allows you to make your characters beforehand and then import them into the game. Well, with the new version of the game, with all the DLC and stuff, you can't import it for some reason. But I spent like on the demo before I bought it. I spent probably like an hour making my 2 characters, and I made them like.
Oh wow!
I made me look like just like Link, and I even got the sound to where he's like, yeah, and he's doing all those like stupid like he's doing all those like stupid like Link noises, and then I made my other person Zelda, and I spent forever making her look like Zelda, you know. And I was like, man, this is gonna be fun and just stupid, and I can't wait to do it. And then just hey, what's this game? I made my characters look like characters from another video game.
You want so badly to,
but then
you
I
want
couldn't
so badly to play a better Zelda.
Exactly, like a more action-packed, boss-filled Zelda. But no, I love Zelda. But it's just I don't know. It made me mad. So then, like when I got into the game and I couldn't import, I just like quickly made them sync Link and Zelda. It's like whatever. I'm just gonna do it. It was sad.
I spent 4 hours making a Viggo Mortensen Aragorn character on Skyrim time, and then just quit the game. Like I spent 4 hours in the like the character creator, and then like I escaped whatever the first fort you're at is to get attacked by the dragon, and I was like, I don't feel like playing anymore, and then I haven't touched it.
Oh my gosh.
Wherever you gotta go.
What else did I play? Oh, I've been playing. I didn't buy it, but I downloaded the beta version of World of Warplanes, which is made by the people who make World of Tanks. And World of Tanks is pretty fun. It's pretty cool. It's definitely it's free to play, so they definitely kind of encourage you to buy stuff. But since World of Warplanes is in beta right now, there is no way to buy like currency or anything. You just kind of earn it eventually, and then you can buy like stuff that would normally cost you money once the game releases. So that's kind of cool, and it's actually really fun. It's a lot more fast paced than World of Tanks, obviously, because you're in planes.
When are they going to release World of Worlds?
I don't know. Kyle. I did see that they were working on World of Warships, which sounds horrible.
Really? I mean,
what is it? What'd you say?
Sorry,
I didn't hear what you said.
World of Warplanes.
Look. When I first heard about these games,
supposed to sound stupid.
I don't know. See, that's the thing. Like when I first heard about these games, I was like, World of Tanks, that looks stupid. It sounds stupid. World of Warplanes, that looks stupid. It sounds stupid. And then once I like watched a little bit of gameplay, and I was like, I can play World of Tanks. And I started playing it, and I was like, actually, this is kind of fun because like you eventually upgrade your tanks, and you can buy new tanks and get bigger tanks. And it's the same thing with World of Warplanes. It sounds stupid, but it's not a bad game. And look, trust me, as a fighting airplane game, it's not good. You have horrible control. Like the controls, like it's just not like if you had a joystick and you could like really like pretend, like if it was some kind of a sim. But what you do is you just kind of point in the direction you want to go, and your plane just like eventually turns that way. So you're not actually controlling your plane. You're just telling your plane which way to go. So it's not perfect by any means, but it's fun for like free and just kind of casual. Jump in, shoot some people, jump out. I don't know. I'm enjoying it for a free game. I gotta have free games now. I'm poor. But yeah, let's get into the topic of the day though, because we spent like 20 minutes talking about nothing. Not really, but competitive gaming. Which this has actually been a really good. This is a great time to talk about competitive gaming because I'm actually going to just start out with the International 3 that happened last weekend, which was amazing. That's why I'm using my deep, serious voice. I watched a little bit of it. The International 3, if you don't know, is the third international for a game called Dota 2, which is Defense of the Ancients is what it stands for. Now, the history of Dota, I'm not too sure on, but basically it's this, they call it MOBA, which is a massively online battle arena. It's basically just a multiplayer game that's just competitive. It's just designed to be competitive. And if you don't know what it is, there's League of Legends, Han, which is Heroes of New Earth, and then there's Dota. You can find them all on Twitch, watch them, you'll figure it out. But they're just really complicated games to explain. And they're actually really hard to watch if you don't play them, because they're doing all this stuff and they're doing all these moves. And literally in Dota 2, there's like 100 characters.
So it's kind of like soccer of the video game world.
Yeah, kind of. and rightfully so, because like it tends to be more popular like outside of the United States even. Like, you know, I don't know. I was just playing the same kind of...
If it ain't Madden, I ain't playing it.
But anyway, is
Nathan alive? Are you alive, Nathan?
I'm alive, bro.
Okay, just checking.
Thanks for that, Kyle. Thanks for interrupting me to check to see if... But anyway, the International 3 happened last week, and I just want to throw off some amazing numbers for you, right? $2.87 million given away for the International 3. The grand prize was $1.43 million. Over 1 million people concurrently, all at the same time, were watching it at one point. A new team beat out the former champions. And it was on Russian and Swedish TV. That's all the information I have right here.
It's on Russian and Swedish TV?
Yeah, I don't know. But like, it's Dota and all these kind of games are like really big in Korea. All these games where you have to click really fast are huge in Korea. I don't know why. The more you can click, they love it, dude. StarCraft, huge in Korea.
Yeah,
and
man.
it's all
they have
about
like
clicking.
freaking live shows for that game.
Didn't a guy from Korea die playing World of Warcraft for like...
I think he was playing. I think he was playing.
Like that,
no, I think he was
like
playing
didn't go to the bathroom. I don't know, something like
Diablo 3.
Oh my gosh!
Like as soon as it released, and I think he died. Because video games
wasn't
kill
worth
people.
it, man.
He played for like 70 hours or something crazy like that without like moving. And then he like stood up and had a coronary.
Yeah.
Like smart one, kid. God rest his soul. But yeah. So I don't know, but so the reason that's significant, and the reason I want to start off with it, is because first of all, over 1 million people watched people playing video games at one time. Like that's a huge number. Like people don't pull those kind of numbers. As a matter of fact, this has been one of the biggest tournaments to ever happen in video game history for video games. Like the biggest prize pool, the most people watching, yada yada yada. So I don't know. Did you guys? I'm like I said, I only watched like a couple bouts. It was interesting. I had no idea what was going on, but it was cool. Like when I watched it, they had these announcers, and you know they'd be like, "Oh my god, it is!" And they would just spout off all these abilities that he's playing. And he's like, "Oh, and they got the kill, and now they're running over there," and they were just so excited, and they knew what was going on. I was like, "Dude, this is awesome! I don't know what's going on, but everybody's super pumped." And there's like a huge crowd. Ugh.
That's my problem about it, because like obviously I'm not a PC gamer, and the most I've been exposed to has just been hanging out with you. So like,
yeah.
I'll get on Twitch TV or something like that, and they're playing Dota or these super complicated like in-depth games, and since my brain is so small and I'm so stupid, I don't know what's going on. I'm just like, and then turn it off, and then go watch like this guy doing whatever, playing, I don't know, and there's like one other guy in the room with me watching him, and but I think that's like I want to understand it, but my exposure to it is so limited.
Yeah.
That it not that it disinterests me. I just don't know what's going on. You said, they're like, oh, and he casted intimidating shot for a 3-second respawn time on
intimidating shot
over there. And like,
God dang it, Leroy.
Yeah. So
they did a pretty good job, I feel, with at least with the one that I showed or watched. I mean, they did a good job presenting it, and like I didn't know what was going on, but I felt like I knew what was going on because they were talking about what was going on. And they did a good job, like just kind of explaining. Like they weren't going in depth with everything, but like I watched the beginning of one battle, and they were talking about each character and why they would choose his character and how they expected them to play it. So it was kind of interesting. It's kind of like watching like if I had never seen football before, and then they were like, okay, you're watching football.
Football announcers are really stupid, though.
Sometimes you get some good ones, and they just kind of explain stuff. Sometimes they just repeat themselves over and over, but that's only John Madden. But
you're right. I was being pretty biased there in that statement.
But no, yeah. But I don't know. Have you seen any of this stuff, Nathan? Do you know even what we're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I remember you telling me about Dota 2, and I've looked at some footage of it, but I'm kind of all in the same boat as Kyle. I haven't really been exposed to it very much, so I don't understand fully like what the goal of the game is.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Like, even once you figure out what the goal is, Like, that's the easy part. It's all the other stuff that happens in between. Like, and when I say there's literally over 100 characters, I mean there's literally over 100 characters.
I think I remember you showing me that. Like, it just kept going. And I was like, is this happening right now?
Yeah, each one has 5 abilities, and then there's like hundreds of items that you can buy, which just boost like different stats. Some of them do certain things, but there's not like a whole lot of like ability items. So just like the combination gets really, really crazy. Now, of course, like in tournaments, they limit it down to just like a few, because there's still some that they feel like are, not balanced and stuff. But it's just that once you get to that point, like, it's just, I think that's the thing that like will struggle for like it to ever be like on normal, like I say normal, like U.S. television. Like, I don't think we'll ever see it like on NBC.
Well, that's what I was about to say. Of those, like, whatever, 2 million viewers, I'm willing to bet, I don't know. I just wonder how many of those were U.S. viewers.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people here that enjoy it, but I feel like that's more of a, like you were saying, Korean or Japanese style or something like that.
I mean, but there's a lot of Europeans who play it too. There's a lot of Europeans. And this is the second version of this game. So it has a bit of a history. So there's quite a few people who play it. But then, you got to understand, like, there's that League of Legends, which is a very, very similar game, and Heroes of New Earth, which is also very, very... And then there's Smite. And all these games are equally popular in their own right. And people, when they see a big tournament with $1.43 million on the line, they kind of all gather around into one tournament. So there's probably a lot of people who don't normally play it who watched it as well, though.
Actually, kind of go back to add to your like statistics. I found a article on Kotaku that said, I think it was gamers watch like 3 billion minutes of competitive gaming a month.
Oh, wow.
Which is a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought that was kind of staggering to think about.
Yeah. I mean, when I get on Twitch, I do like to watch, and that's where I watch most of my games. I do like to watch like people who are really good at a game. I don't normally watch people who are like entertaining. I watch people who are like speed
professionals.
Yeah, they're like, they play Call of Duty all the time, or they play Halo all the time, or they speed run this game or whatever. I like to watch that kind of stuff because it's more interesting, I feel like, than somebody's like. And I say that, and I'm someone who literally live streams, and it's me going, "Oh, I'm playing video game. Watch me." Like, I'm not doing anything. But that's just because nobody watches me. But
it's okay, Paul. We're here for you.
But that's here nor there. But yeah. So I don't know. It's definitely it's interesting to see, because what's going to end up happening is competitive gaming is going to be big because of games like League of Legends and Dota. Because there's people who pour money. Like, I can't remember who made League of Legends, but they pour millions of dollars a year into their game just for tournaments. Like, that's how they do it. Like, they promote themselves basically. But eventually we're going to find a game that's going to be I guess more what's the word I'm looking for? More easy for people to understand, I guess. I don't know, like easier to watch.
It's more attractive to the viewer.
Go. Yeah, so then we're going to have like a bunch, then we're going to see a real explosion where all of a sudden it is on U.S. television and stuff where, that kind of stuff doesn't normally appear. I mean, I don't know if G4 even shows video games anymore. I don't have G4.
G4 is not a channel anymore, I don't even think, actually.
Oh my gosh. What happened to Tech TV?
Do you all remember how awesome G4 was, like, I'd say 7 years ago?
Yeah, because they had just bought Tech TV and they still had all the cool Tech TV stuff.
Yes. There used to be a show that was nothing but game cinematics.
Oh, yeah. I remember
trailers and stuff. I mean, how awesome is that?
It was pretty awesome. It was just like, yeah, that was awesome. Oh, those were the days. All right, let's move on to the next bit. International 3. Obviously, we're too stupid to know too much about it, but it was a big deal. And it does mark, I think, and like I was saying, it does mark, like, the future. It shows the future of competitive gaming, that it's growing and it's very, very strong. Even though games like StarCraft, which used to be huge, is kind of struggling now because of various reasons. But I mean, it's still there, but it's definitely kind of stagnating in a way as opposed to growing. Let's go to the, I got,
what's this deal with Halo 4 not in?
Well, see, it was at the multiplayer for Call of Duty Ghost. They said that they've got MLG rights to be the only FPS. And right. What? So it has really nothing to do with Halo 4 directly, but it kind of disappoints me because Halo brought MLG, I feel like, to the console, right? Because MLG was more like Counter-Strike and like older FPSs that were like computer, like they were like what's the other ones, like Unreal Tournament and stuff. They were more like PC FPSs, but like Halo kind of brought it to the console, and now Call of Duty Ghost is going to be the only FPS that MLG has, which I think is a huge mistake in a way because
that sucks.
Yeah, but the problem is I can't think of another super, like I don't feel like Battlefield could be super competitive. I mean, like I watched the Black Ops 2 tourney not too long ago, and it was stupid.
Well, because I guess because Battlefield isn't as quite as fast paced, just because the levels are so huge.
Yeah,
Battlefield and Call of Duty are very different.
Yeah,
you can't even play like in the same mindset, and expect to win, which I think kind of brings me to a point about like kill death ratio and stuff like that. Like I think that was one of the worst things to ever happen to Call of Duty because
that's all anyone plays for now.
Right, especially like objective-based games and stuff like that. Like,
because like Headquarters and Domination would have been really cool, but everyone camps now on those maps and gets nukes. That's their whole objective. They don't even care.
And so it's and granted, unless you're in like an organized tournament, it's hard to play competitively. I should use that kind of loosely as far as just playing on like Xbox Live and stuff like that. But you get into like a Domination or any other of those types, like it's impossible to do well because you're whatever, 5 other teammates are just trying to get kills.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what Battlefield does good, because you do get points for kills, but you get like so much more for like being supportive to your team. So
yeah.
And so it's just kind of a shame because, like, I don't know, Call of Duty. I just don't want Call of Duty the big name. Like I don't feel like that's going to be the game that is going to show off FPS as a good competitive mode.
I can't. Like all these guys that are like, really big into how good that they are at video games and stuff like that. Like I can't believe that none of them, unless I'm just totally missing something about Call of Duty, like how like flawed and broken it seems like sometimes.
I mean, it's obviously they got this because they had more money than anybody else, right? That's how they did it. There's like, hey, we just made $16 billion selling the same game 12 years in a row. Let's give you a little bit of money and don't let anybody else be in MLG.
Like, see that? I remember back on like MTV's True Life, I'm a Competitive Gamer. They had that. God, what was his name? He was like the first big name that he was literally like the reason why I learned that there was a major league, like T-Squared or something like that.
That sounds familiar, actually.
The only game he played was Halo. And I remember him like getting signed to Major League Gaming. So I kind of, what you said about Halo kind of bringing competitive console FPS to the kind of forefront, I thought that was a good point.
Yeah. And there's multiple reasons. Like for me, a good competitive FPS and a good competitive game in general has a lot of community involvement. So like there's Shoot Mania and there's Drive Mania. Drive Mania has been around. It's actually I think it's called Drive Mania. Am I saying that right? I don't know. It's made by the same people. They're both just made to be competitive. That's the whole point of their game. But the big thing about them is like the community makes the maps and the community makes the game modes. And that's important because when you have, say, 100,000 to a few million people playing your game, and they're the ones designing stuff, they're going to tweak it until it's the most competitive and most fair. And then those are going to be the rules and maps that people play by that, make the most sense. You basically have a million billion designers. It was that way for like a lot of the early Unreal Tournament games. A lot of the big tournament maps were maps made by the community as opposed to like, just the ones made by the devs and stuff. And it was, so when you get into the Call of Duty, all of a sudden you have like, we hold the rules, we hold the maps. If you want it, you got to pay for it. Like there's nothing about that game that's like open and really competitive, which I guess in a way that kind of makes sense, but I guess if you compare it to modern day sports are open, right? In a way, there's a group of people who get together and say, these are the rules and this is how we're going to play. Like, but it's not just one guy sitting in a chair that said, we made up football and we have all the rules for football. Like, the rules are made by a committee of people who are fans of the game. I guess that's kind of comparable, isn't it? I don't know. But like,
I see what you're saying though.
Yeah. And a lot of competitive games are like that. Like that's the way StarCraft is. And that's Dota's a little more closed off, but that's the way StarCraft was. And like, well, I say that, but the original Dota was actually a mod for Warcraft 3. Because Warcraft 3 was, like, I remember watching a competitive Warcraft 3 match, and basically it was, like, of course Warcraft 3 is a real-time strategy, and you build up your little village, and you get troops, and you go attack each other. But the way the Warcraft 3 match basically went is they both got heroes, souped up their heroes as much as they could, and they just attacked each other until the other one killed the other hero, and that's how they won. So it was like, it wasn't played like a normal RTS. And so that's kind of how the original MOBA or Dota kind of started. It was a mod for Warcraft 3. So it's I don't know, man. It kind of kills me. How do you feel about it, Nathan? I know we play
Nathan's asleep.
No, I'm not asleep. No, it does bug me. Like you're saying, I just don't like the fact that, like you were saying, Call of Duty will be the one game representing all FPSs. I feel like, don't get me wrong, it's excellent. It's an excellent first-person shooter at its core, I guess. But the community sucks. But I'm hoping games like Titanfall or something like that have, I don't know, more variation rather than just running around and throwing C4 everywhere and spraying bullets. Like, I don't know. At least Battlefield has cool vehicles and, I don't know, more objectives. And
doesn't openly support marijuana counterculture.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I would say games like Gears of War, but that recently has kind of gone down the drain after Gears 3 and after Cliff left and stuff. So
that was another game, and it's in competitive gaming. It's shooters always come up first. There's obviously competitive driving games. I'm sure there's people who competitively play, I don't know, Super Mario Brothers, but it comes down to like team versus team, and it's about the speed of the game, right? And then if there's less speed, then there needs to be more strategy. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I just like when I play Call of Duty because it's stupid, and I just feel like shooting stuff.
And your friends play it.
Yeah, and my friends play it. Like if I wanted to play like hardcore, then I'll like text up Nathan. I'll be like, okay, let's play Halo, and we'll get on, and we'll do really good as long as we're not talking about other things. If we're into the game, then we're like communicating, and we get all. And it's the same way because like me and Mitch will play Awesome Knots. It's the same thing. Like we'll get in there. Like and Awesome Knots is actually fairly casual. It's the same type of game as like Dota, but it's 2D as opposed to like isometric. And but we'll get on and we'll play. Like that's the kind of game I like play because it's balanced and it's ready to go. But I can't imagine a balanced, normal like competitive Call of Duty. It drives me insane.
See, that's what I wish there was more flexibility in the, I guess, kind of matchmaking. Like, I would want to play a no kill streak, no gun attachments, like just a bare bones. Like you use iron sights and like take Call of Duty World at War for example.
Yeah,
it would have been awesome if you could set up like whatever, like the Americans versus the Germans. If you're the Americans, you can choose between the M1 Garand or the Thompson and a sidearm, and the Germans get a Kar 98 or a STG 44 or whatever, but like no attachments or anything. Like that's what makes it fair and balanced. Not.
Well, that's why I like playing SWAT on Halo. I hate Slayer, but SWAT is just like it's pretty much exactly that, bare bones. You either get a DMR or you get a battle rifle, and that's it.
Yeah. SWAT's all about.
It's more skill based rather than. Yeah. I mean, exactly.
It's strategy. It's all strategy, basically. I mean, you've got to be able to aim. It's not easy to just shoot them in the head.
Shoot them in the head.
I could see it being maybe easier. I don't know. I was playing earlier and I was doing so bad. It was making me mad. I was just missing shots left and right. Ugh, I needed you, Nathan.
Sorry, buddy.
It's okay. Oh, so what are we going to talk about?
Will competitive gaming ever make it to the quote unquote mainstream? Will we ever see it on like being televised rather than just, on the internet, or would that be where it would thrive? Is that kind of like its home?
I don't know.
The internet? Because I mean, obviously,
I'm willing to bet eventually it will. I mean, just like Paul was saying, if 2 million people are watching something Dota 2 on Twitch, and I mean, the video game community has grown so much just over the past decade, even less than that. I mean, it's just it's constantly growing and becoming bigger and bigger industry. So I'm sure.
See, I couldn't ever see something like Dota or not unless those became like incredibly popular, but just because they are right, like just because those games are so like niche and stuff like that. But for us to air poker and hot dog eating, to think eventually that it won't sometime be, on like Spike or something like that. Like I can't imagine
even regularly. Like that, that'll be interesting. Like it'll be one thing if they show it like once a year, right? That could happen. Now they show this fake video game awards show on Spike every year, so you never know. They might eventually start showing like a fake stupid tournament where they give away $10,000 to a couple kids who were playing whatever.
And Samuel L. Jackson hosts it every year.
But it'll take a special game to be able to get to where, it's video game season, kind of like it's football season, right? So like everybody's getting ready. I have my draft. These are the players in my fantasy video game league, but there's no reason for that not to be possible, because the fans who are fans now would watch it on TV. They would pay for the pay-per-view. They would make sure that they have the channel, the ESPN video games on their cable list, and they would have the stupid fantasy teams. I mean, it's not a sport in the sense of it's physically demanding. Like you're not pumping iron to make sure, but it's a sport in the sense of it's extremely competitive, and you have to be good. Otherwise you're not. Otherwise you're just going to get mowed over by these people. The people who play these games now are super talented, and they're going to be hard to beat in the future. It's going to be amazing to see what it is, but but it's got to find that balance between complicated and intense and just like something easy to watch. Because like you were saying, like Dota and League of Legends have their niche, but it's a really, really big niche. It's a huge niche. So there's a good chance it'll be a very similar game to that type that ends up being the big game that they start showing on TV regularly.
To kind of add to that, in that same article that I got, the 3 billion minutes of gaming, they actually mentioned that CBS, let's see, they announced partnerships with both Twitch TV and Major League Gaming.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And this is actually from more than a year ago, about a year and 4 months, which I think, but I think that just goes to show that, like, obviously people know that it's there. Like,
yeah,
people that are in charge of things at, like, Entertainment Network, like, they know it's, like, on the cusp of kind of taking off.
There's ad space. And that's what it's going to take. It's going to take enough concurrent viewers to sell enough ads for a channel to pick it up.
It's really funny that you say that, because one of the things that stood out to me in this, it says, according to CBS, viewers tune into live gaming competitions for 23 minutes at a stretch. So obviously they're looking at how long people are on there, and what they can,
how long they'll watch.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see in general, just like how much change is going to have to come before it really gets to that point. And how far, I just, like, these words keep echoing in my head from Total Biscuit, because he keeps saying, like, in a year, Dota 2 is going to be the biggest game in the world. Like, because this was their first tournament, is their third tournament. It was the first tournament as the game actually officially done. The first two, it was still in quote unquote beta. So, like, by next year, it'll be technically the second tournament of it being officially released. So if you have 1 million people's watching this year, I mean, and giving away $2.87 million this year, it can only be bigger next year. Like, I don't know. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be psycho.
Is that a song, or?
No, I just decided to say it in musical form. Oh, man. Well, I tell you what. I think, first of all, I want to just say, if you don't know me, I'm Free the Hawk, and you need to make sure you look me up, because when it comes to Halo and Call of Duty Black Ops 2, I'm like number 3 in the world and number 1 in the nation or something like that. Yeah. So
I'll look you up on Game Battles.
Yeah, Game Battles.
Game Battles, bro.
I still don't even know what that is, but I'll assume it's something awesome.
You don't know what Game Battles is?
No, I don't know what Game Battles is.
Please don't tell me you're being serious.
Oh, I'm not. I'm being completely serious.
It's like, like I said earlier, it's like one of the first things that I ever knew that there was competitive gaming. It was like it's like a way to organize stats and matches and stuff like that. And when you're 14 years old, get recruited into a Shadowrun clan and then never join it and don't understand why people are getting mad at you for not being on. And
yeah, I'm not gonna. I wouldn't. No.
Actually, I wasn't 14. I was probably like 17, 18, 19, maybe.
If they would, okay, let's do this. This will be our final topic.
Let's do this. Let's do it.
Let's do this, guys. No. What game? And we're talking, you're gonna have to play this game 8 hours a day. You have to play with a bunch of people. You're not going to be allowed to shower. You have to travel across the world to do tournaments. I don't know why the showering thing came up. You're going to have to eat Doritos and cookies all the time just to make yourself play this game all day long, competitively, for whatever money you might or might not make. Like, what game would you play? What game are you going to be competitive at?
How long did you say we have to play this?
8 hours a day, dude. It's your job. This is your job? Life now. You are a competitive video game player until you either die or retire.
Ride or die.
Ride or die.
Well, you can't go on to the sequel of the game. Just that one.
No, well, come on. You're being all complicated now. Just pick a game. It could be, you could pick Super Mario RPG. I don't care. Just pick a game. The whole point is what game, I don't know, what game would you want to be competitive at? This is a game that you are now committing your life to. If you don't win, then you don't eat.
Either Halo or Battlefield, one of those.
Oh my gosh! Because you love them, or because you're good at them?
Both.
What about you, Kyle?
Okay, I'm thinking way too much into this. I would pick Battlefield if I got to pick who was in my squad or squads.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had to play a single player game, oh Jesus, I'd pick Shadowrun, and I would be that little midget, and I would run around and steal everybody's manas, shoot him with a shotgun. Little person, excuse me.
Well, he's not a midget; he's a dwarf.
He's a
An
dwarf.
actual race. So even calling him a little person is probably somewhat offensive.
Insulted.
Just so you know.
But I don't know why,
dwarf.
but I loved that game. Like it was one of the first games I ever played on Xbox Live. And I literally played it like all the time. And I still think it's awesome. It's not really that good of a game, but for some reason, I don't know, it just I thought it was really neat.
You can play it with people on the PC.
I know. That's
what happened, Microsoft?
That's literally the only game I've ever heard to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't actively seek out if that's a function on games, but...
Well, Final Fantasy 14, A Realm Reborn, you can. But it's not the same.
But who else is playing that on?
A lot of people.
Has that even come out yet?
No, it's coming
That's a
out.
serious
They're in the
question.
beta right now. They're coming out like next week, I think.
Oh, okay.
Maybe even Tuesday. I don't know. It's a 20-something. But anyway, I'm excited about it, except for I can't get it because it costs money and I don't have money, so...
What would you play, Paul?
Oh, I would play Nintendo Land for the Wii U. I'm just kidding. No, oh, I had a game.
Wii Fitness.
Wii Fitness. No, Connectimals? Come on now. I would competitively pet a tiger that's not really there. No, I would play
Human Centipede for Connect.
Do you all remember that game that was supposed to come out with Kinect that Peter Molyneux? Oh shoot! I can't.
Oh yeah, and he like showed the little boy a piece of paper.
Yeah,
And he's like, "Oh, this is a real cool piece of paper. I'm just gonna take it from your hand."
I'm pretty sure that was just like a proof of concept video. Like,
It was.
they had like no intentions on ever making it.
Well, they did make it. It's called that one game that has to do with that other game. Fable. It's that Fable game where you're like
What?
pet your horse, make him feel better.
Adventures, or I know what you're talking about. I just don't remember.
No, I'm pretty sure that's what came out of that little boy was that stupid Fable game. No, I would play seriously though.
He wasn't. He didn't even have anything to do with that. He left. He left Lionhead like 2 years ago.
If I have to murder you, I will.
He works at 22
Oh my
Cans now.
gosh.
I would play Neverwinter Online because I like that PvP a lot. I think it's really fun.
Sweet.
Which you guys don't know nothing about.
I'm really glad that Paul is our resident PC gamer because otherwise this would be.
I'd play Call of Duty or Battlefield or Halo. Yeah.
Every podcast
Or Madden.
would be Call of Duty Black Ops 2 Battlefield 3. That would be that's just all we would say, and then it would end.
Hey, but everything's going to change when Titanfall and what is it? Divinity? What's that game called? Divine.
The Division.
Nope, it's another
Destiny.
one. Destiny. That's it.
Did you all know
Oh,
that XCOM the Bureau comes out like next month?
I know.
I feel like they literally just announced that.
Well, the thing is, they announced it a couple years ago, and then it got pushed under the table.
But that's what I just realized when I said that. They've probably been working on it for the last 4 years.
Well, no, they kind of stopped it, and then when XCOM got really popular, they're like, oh, I guess we should release this game.
Do you think it's suck?
Actually, what I've seen of it, it looks really fun. I think it kind of depends on how the levels work. I don't know. It'll be interesting. It won't be for everyone. I can tell you that. It won't be for everyone. It's more strategy than it is like third-person shooter.
And fade to black.
Well, thank you guys for watching. Watching us talk to... You didn't watch anything.
Watching us with your ear holes.
Yeah. Of course, you can follow us all. Let's just do this Twitter thing real quick. Follow us all on, what is it? Twitter at, I'm trying to read it here. I don't have my glasses on. Free the Hawk at @WhoAmKyle and @Heisenberg56. I'm Free the Hawk. Kyle's WhoAmKyle, and Nathan is Heisenberg56. And I have not gotten any new Twitter followers in a while. But that's probably because nobody watches this.
Yeah, I know. I lose Twitter followers, I think, every single time that we release a
podcast. That's all right. You don't need them. You can just buy them on eBay, I'm pretty sure. Someone was telling me the other day, it was Drew. He was telling me he has over 100,000. He has 2 Twitter accounts. One of them, he has over 100,000 followers, and it's because he tweets to Howard Stern all the time and other people that are on the Howard Stern show. So he has a Howard Stern Twitter account, over 100,000 followers.
Oh my gosh.
That's genius. I need to get a Howard Stern Twitter account and then retweet Free the Hawk.
We need to get on Howard Stern.
That's probably the most true thing you've ever said. Next podcast, of course, once again, is Earthbound. And any other things that we need to tell the fine people out there?
Just tune in and let us make sweet, sweet love to your ear holes.
Yes. Of course, you can...
Long, sultry voices.
You can find us on youtube.com/freethehawk or search FTHcast on the iTunes if you're listening to us on the other side of the internet. If you're not on YouTube, you can switch over. I don't care. I don't care at all. Do whatever you want. There's something else. There was something at the beginning of the episode that I wanted to say, and I still can't remember what it is. It doesn't matter. Also, I live stream. I have very, very boring live streams because nobody watches me. But you can watch me, and maybe we can talk about something. 'Cause that's all I do. I get on there hoping somebody gets on, one of my friends, and then I can chat with them. That's all I want to do is chit-chat with you.
You do have a great name for your streaming, by the way.
Playing names and saying games, because that makes sense. No, it's playing games and saying things. And then it has the game title.
I think that's very clever. I like that. I don't know why it hasn't caught on yet.
Because people are stupid. I'm just kidding. I love you guys.
World's longest outro.
I know. That's at twitch.tv/freethehawk. And I guess everybody say bye. Say bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.